right, now
So
what is that Pasadena show?
It's just Creation's annual big Star
Is it the
Trek.
big one? I thought
Yeah.
they did the big one in March or
You
something.
did. This is the other big one.
Oh, I see.
And then they'll squeeze in another big one around next March.
I see.
They keep saying it's the only big one. But
Right,
no.
right.
The next to the only. There's always another big one.
It's in their big series.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm set any time.
Okay.
I'd like to do two things.
Yes.
I'd like to
You get
ask
a
you a
mic
few
in or no?
questions and...
Does he get a
mic?
mic?
Oh, here we
My
go.
brain's out of whack today. Yeah, it'll be out of the picture. I've just got you from the shoulders.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the show. Also,
Yeah.
would you be interested in doing a short testimonial for us for PBS?
Sure.
For why people should support
Sure.
programs?
Sure.
Okay, well, just something off the top of your head for PBS, and then we'll take a couple of questions.
Okay. You want to do that first?
Yeah, I think we should do that first. Okay.
What should I say? Help me. I'm not feeling creative today.
Just introduce yourself and mention that you're from Star Trek Voyager,
Okay.
and that it's important for science fiction fans to support the programs they watch here on Channel 42.
What is your program called?
We do a program called, it's a whole evening. We do a sci-fi Saturday night. We do Doctor Who, Blake 7,
Oh,
Red
wow.
Dwarf, a whole night of science fiction every Saturday.
We do Twilight.
And this particular program...
Oh, I did one of those.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did
yeah,
it.
that's
I'd
right.
like to run it again. The rights have lapsed on it. We can't
Oh,
get it
really?
back. We showed it twice last year.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just, okay.
Yeah, this is for our regular interview show we do every quarter. It's
Okay.
called Interstellar Interconnect.
Great.
You just went up to...
Oh, I moved?
You just went up
What?
too high.
Oh,
Like hitting them in the full face.
Yeah. Let me pull back a little, too. Okay. Yeah, that's much better.
Great.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Robert Duncan McNeill from Star Trek Voyager. Stay tuned to public television. If you're a science fiction fan, you need to support these science shows on public television. Thanks for watching. Good?
Okay. Now, I'm curious
Yes.
to know. You, of course, came onto the show with a slight history of working with the Next Generation cast before.
Right.
Was it like coming home for you to work with some of the same crew members again?
Yeah, it was in a way. I think that it's funny, when I did the Next Generation episode, I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting it to be a wonderful experience. It was just kind of a job, a good job for me, a quick job for me. And I remember doing it. One of the things that was so exciting was the feeling of family on the set. The crew was equal to the cast. Everybody chipped in, and you don't always find that. In fact, you rarely find that in television, And so that's one big memory I have, was that family feeling of the crew and everything. So coming back onto Voyager, it was a lot of the same crew we had on Next Generation, a lot of the same camera people, the same lighting people, costumers, everything. And so it felt very comfortable, it was really comfortable. Also, a lot of the crew on Star Trek, not a lot, but some of the crew and wardrobe people and makeup people were people I'd worked with on this movie Masters of the Universe. Like Michael Westmore did makeup for that, and some of the costume people worked on Masters of the Universe. So it even goes back further than Next Generation for me, It's a small little community. It's nice to work with the same people. Yeah.
I understand that you did a Twilight Zone back in your teens.
Mhm.
Was that your first role, major role?
It was, yeah, actually the Twilight Zone that I did, I was about 19 or 20, and I had been living in New York for a couple of years, pursuing a career in the theater, and that just sort of fell into my lap. There was another kid that was supposed to do the part, Robert McNaughton. McNaughton, I think is his last name. He was in E.T. He was the older brother in E.T. And he was supposed to do the role, and at the last minute, literally like a day or two before they were about to shoot, he had to pull out for some reason. I don't know what he was doing. And so they had this mad casting call, just see everybody in the world, put them all on tape, and they'd cast it really quick. And so I went in New York on a Friday afternoon from my waitering job. I was like catering or something at Newsweek that day, and I ran in and did this, put the scene down on tape that afternoon, and I swear that night I got the call. Somehow they'd, messengered it to L.A. within hours and made the decision. I got the call, and Saturday morning I was on a plane flying to L.A., and I'd never been to L.A., never been to California. So that was very exciting, and I think it was a really good episode too, you know. Besides it just being my first big TV job and such a whirlwind kind of experience, it was also a really good script, you know. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and it seemed like it was, you know, one thing after another on that show. Like Justine Bateman was supposed to play the girl, and the first few days we started shooting. We were doing my side of the story, which, you know, was an ESP story, so they'd shoot all my stuff and then they shoot all the girls' stuff separate. So Justine Bateman was off camera doing the girls' part for me, and after a few days they realized that that wasn't going to work, that it wasn't the right casting, you know. So they replaced her. They let go of her, and there was a couple days where we didn't know who the girl was, you know. But they ended up getting a wonderful girl, Carrie. I can't remember her last name now, but she was sort of in the same boat as me. It was like her first. She was right out of college, her first TV job, and it turned out real good, you know. I think part of that enthusiasm of both of us being young and, you know, we weren't sort of jaded like maybe Justine Bateman was at the time. You know, she was big on family ties back then. We were very enthusiastic, you know, and it turned out good.
Tell me, if the bosses at Paramount were to come to you and say, Robert, we'd like you to write an episode, what would you do with Paris?
I wish they would come to me and ask me that. Right after we got back into the second season, and I saw that there weren't episodes coming right away for Paris, I got a little concerned because I felt like last season they brought on this very interesting character, and then they sort of got lost through the first season, and they didn't know what to do with him. So we had some talks, and they admitted that they were a little stumped because they brought on this character with a lot of flaws and a lot of negative qualities, which as an actor is really fun to play because, you know, being a bad guy and a rebel is much more interesting usually than being the good guy. But they realized after they brought on this character with all these flaws that it wasn't appropriate to Starfleet in a way. They felt that if they were to allow me to be as rebellious as my background was, that I would have to be dismissed from duty. You know, I couldn't hold that position on the bridge. So that, you know, that sort of tied their hands there. And then, you know, the whole womanizing thing of my character, they found that to be kind of a negative quality they didn't want to pursue. So then they felt sort of stumped, you know. Anyway, we talked a lot, and I didn't actually write any episodes, but I did go in a few times and pitch some stories, you know, in that sort of Hollywood way of going in and sort of, you know, telling them the whole story as if I were a writer, but I didn't actually write it. And one of the stories in particular, I pitched them about 3 different ideas, and one of the stories that I came up with was similar to something they had come up with, and they sort of combined the ideas and they've written that story, so we're going to be shooting that. So that's kind
Pleasure dealing with
of... Okay,
you.
thank you.
I'm going to have to let you go because you got 10 minutes to get downstairs, right?
No, we have to do his fan club right now.
Oh.
Ah!
I'll send you the line later and take care of it then because we've had you too long.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, fabulous. And I'll see that when we get things edited and put together, I can send a copy of the final show out to you.
Great.
Okay,
All right.
Great.
Good. Nice
Thanks.
to meet you.
Pleasure working with you.
All right.
Sorry, short,
Quick, short and
lead
sweet.
today.
Okay, thanks, Ruth Ann.